and that archway needs a castle door. It's been about 5 months. The wood has dried enough to begin the next steps of the project. I'm going to load everything up onto the trailer and bring it home, and I'm going to begin processing this down. I'm going to take it over to the sawmill before I bring it home and rip all the boards to a consistent width, and then I will be cutting the tongue and grooves and we'll assemble it into the castle door. So I'll bring you along on the whole process. Okay, I'm back at the sawmill. My plan is to load these boards onto the mill upright, and I'm going to rip a clean edge, because if you look down the edges here, you know, when they're from drying and when they were cut, it's a little wavy. Since I'm going to be joining these boards together, I want to have a clean and parallel edges, so I'm going to use a sawmill this time. Last time I did this with the shiplap wall, I used a table saw and it was kind of a pain. I think this will be better. I'm going to kind of go for some random widths, so whatever the boards work out to be, you know, they'll be. It doesn't really matter for this application. So I'm going to pop everything on the mill and do some cutting. So that little operation I just did trued up the boards. So now I should have two parallel faces. The top and the bottom should be parallel, and they're all of equal width this way. So now when I run them, bring them home, all I need to do is run them through the shaper to create the tongue and groove so they interlock together. So these boards here are 6 inches wide. The next set I'm going to do, they'll probably be a little bit wider, maybe 8 inches wide. I'm shooting for the castle door stock needs to be 6 foot total in width and 10.5 feet tall. So we should be able to get it out of this stuff. All right, I'll bring you on the next load. So that concludes step 1 of this process in building the castle door. I have enough boards here. After I cut the tongue and groove in there, I can join them together. What I'm shooting for is 2 3-foot sections, and then when we assemble this door, we'll glue the last center section into, so we'll have our total 6 foot by 10 foot. All right, so I'm back at home. I used my 3-point hitch hooked to the trailer to back this trailer through this narrow gate. Now I'm in the yard. Next thing I will do, I'm going to trim these boards up to length because they're over 12 feet long right now. I only need 10.5. So I'm going to look at each board, cut off the worst side, and get a nice square cut on either end. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be looking to grade the boards in a way so that I can figure out which ends are going to be the tops, which ends are going to be the bottoms. So all my tongue and grooves are cut. I mocked everything up here. This is a 3-foot section. This will be the first one. I'm going to get this glued up. Before I do any more, I need to take a rest from the shaper. It's like 100 degrees out and very humid today. So I'm going to glue this sucker up and let it, with all the clamps, I'll let it dry while I'm finishing up the other stuff. Alright, so next day, I had everything tarped up, and since it rained last night, I'm going to remove the clamps from the first set of panels, and I will glue up the second set. That wraps up the glue up on these two panels. What's going to happen next, once the glue's dry, I'm going to bring it back over to where the archway is, and we're going to calculate the actual angle of the arch. I'm going to put these two panels together, trace out the arch, cut the arch out, and then I'll glue the last seam once it's over there. It'll be easier to transport in 3-foot by 10-foot sections rather than one 6-foot by 10-foot.
How's that?
Yep, that'll work.
All right. Perfect.
All the way, or is there any spots catch?
No, wait a minute.
Oh, you think it's... That is a beautiful thing there. All right, we got the strapping secured. We're going to drill a hole up in the top for a window, but for now it's just going to be a hole saw hole so that we can lift this thing up in the air so we can stain it and put the final finishing touches on it.
A little bit more to the right. Yes. Yes.
It's a little hung up.
You want to go to the right of that. Yeah, I know. Just keep flicking it till it goes to the right of it. That thing's pretty heavy. Branch.
Okay.
Go ahead, pull down.
If I pull any harder, it'll... All right, we successfully got the rope in the tree. Next week, we're going to be lifting the door up for some burning and staining. All right, our plan is we're going to hook a chain up top here through the hole. We're going to pull the trailer under this tree, and we're going to use that truck to hoist this up in the air. We'll see how it goes. All right, come back. That looks really good.
It does. No matter what we do to it, it's gonna look good.
All right, that's step one. Step two, we're gonna coat it in used oil. Transmission oil, diesel oil,
Look at the
diesel. Oh yeah. Rusty oil.
Huh?
Rusty oil, look at that. Let's see what that concoction does. All right, we have the door in place on the trailer. We're gonna lift it up with the backhoe that's coming over now, and we're gonna get it bolted onto these posts. All right, I threw a couple some deck screws in it. We're gonna lag bolt it into these posts on either side, but right now it's up on its own. And from this side, looks pretty perfect. I have to trim those tops posts down a little bit, but it's looking really nice. Oh, you wanna do that one next?
Yeah.
We'll go right. That look about in line with the pole?
That looks like it to me. Perfect. We just gotta worry about the wind blowing it over. Yeah, that's what we want. Come on.
Nice. And that brings the castle door project to a close. It was really fun to get to build this door. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next video.